Hey, good morning, everybody. I do hope that you had a great Memorial Day weekend and you are rested and ready to check out some cool new stuff because this week we're going to be talking about what cool things you can see in the sky. So, I bet you already know that if we look up into the sky, what's the first thing we can always tell? We can tell, right, if it's daytime or nighttime, right? Well, let's take a look at this video because if we were to stay put, maybe just lay on our back in the middle of the backyard on a blanket and just look up at the sky all day, we would see a lot of things changing. Take a look at this. It's only a few seconds long. So, what do you notice? See those boats and cars going so quickly? So the first thing I'm going to tell you for sure is that is not how fast daytime changes into nighttime, is it? So this video was taken in one whole day, but it took hours and hours and hours. And then to show it to us, they sped it up. They played the movie extra fast so that we could see everything changing. Now, pretend that you're laying down looking up at the sky. Let's watch it one more time. I see more things than just cars and boats moving, don't you? All right. So I want to be a thinker, okay? I want to think, what are some of the things that I wonder about this picture? What are some of the things that I wonder about this picture? Okay, and this is in your science notebook, and it's the first page of Unit 3, Lesson 1. And you'll see that same picture of the bridge looking up toward the sky. And finish the sentence, I wonder, with some kind of question you might think while you're looking at that picture, that movie. What's a question you might ask that you hope we're going to learn about in this chapter? Pause your video while you write that down. We're going to go back and look at a few other things too. So the next thing is we're going to actually go outside today. All right? If we go outside today, will we see any stars? Will you ever? Then if we go outside tonight, might we see some stars at nighttime? Will we see the sun? Do you ever plan to see the sun if you go out at nighttime? Do you ever plan to see stars if you go out in the daytime? Let's think of things we already know about what we can see if we look up into the sky, okay? So if we look up at the sky, and this is what I was saying, go right out in the yard and lay on your grass and look up at the sky, we'll see different things at different times of the day, right? Sometimes we'll see clouds, and then at another time, maybe the wind blew the clouds away and the sky is nice and clear and blue. If we go out later, after dinner time, maybe the sky is getting darker. If we go out after breakfast, probably the sky is lighter, isn't it? We're going to be learning about all kinds of things that are out in space that we can see when we look up toward the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars. Remember though, when you go outside and look up toward the sky, you should never look right at the sun. That can really hurt your eyes, okay? So let's not do that. So we're going to go outside, we're going to take a look, and we're going to be seeing things that are actually way out in space. The Earth is where we live. The moon is out in space, and it's the closest thing to us. The sun is a very bright star. It's a star. And it's out in space too. And there are many, many other stars that we can also see. They look a lot smaller than the sun, but you know they might not be. Some of them are actually bigger than the sun, but they're farther away, so they look tiny. So let's see. Where should we put the name of the Earth? You think this is the Earth? Or this? Let's see. Where should we put the name of the moon? I think that's the moon. Over here. What do you think we're seeing here? Maybe it's getting touched by those rays of light. Where are they coming from? Are they coming from the sun? And up here, what are these? I think those are stars. All of those things, except for the Earth, are out in space. But we can see them right from our backyards. Okay? So we're going to go back now to your science notebook. And we already wrote down an I wonder question. Now, on this next page, if you have a printer at home, I am going to ask you to look at our class story and find that I'm going to send you this link to put through your printer. It's these pictures of things that you might see in the sky, okay? You will need to print them out. If you can't print them, just skip this part. Or if you'd like, you can pause the video right here and try to draw them in the right place. But if you have a printer, it'll be so much easier. All you have to do is print these and cut them apart and then sort them into the right column. There will be 3 pictures that show daytime and 3 pictures that show nighttime. And what's the easiest way to tell, right? The daytime pictures will have a bright sky and the nighttime pictures will have a darker sky. Okay? Then we're going to be watching a little quick movie today about math shapes we're going to talk about. Today, we're going to start talking about cones and cylinders. And if you've ever enjoyed an ice cream cone, I bet you already know what that looks like.
Cylinders, cones, and spheres. This is a cylinder. A cylinder has 2 faces and no vertices or edges.
Looks like a soup can.
These castle towers are shaped like cylinders. This is a cone. A cone has 1 face, 1 vertex, and no edges. The tops of these castle towers are shaped like cones. This is a sphere. A sphere does not have any faces, vertices, or edges. The tops of these flagpoles are shaped like spheres.
So let's talk about that really quickly, okay? Remember what we said, a vertex is a pointy corner, right? It is the point where 2 different sides of a flat shape or edges of a 3D shape join together to make a corner. So we now call that a vertex. If there are more than one, we say vertices. Remember, faces are the flat part of a shape, okay? So the cylinder looks like a soup can. It has a flat circle on the top and a flat circle on the bottom. We'll call those faces. But it didn't have any corners because the top and bottom were made of circles, and circles don't have any vertices, do they? And then the sphere, okay? This green sphere in the picture looks like a circle. But see how it's a little bit shiny up here? That's trying to show that actually this is not a flat circle we could cut out of paper. It's trying to show that it's a round ball, and it does have space inside. It's full of air, isn't it? When you want the ball to bounce, you fill up the inside with air. So this is not a flat circle, it's a sphere. Okay, let's keep watching.
We can use what we have learned about cylinders, cones, and spheres to follow these directions. Name the first shape in the row. The first shape is a cylinder. Describe it. A cylinder has 2 faces and no vertices or edges. Compare it to the shape of the other objects in the row. Put an X on the shape in the row that is different.
So this one is a rectangular prism, isn't it? Because it has rectangles. Can't call it a cube because the tops and the sides are not square, are they? They're rectangles. So this is a cylinder and this is a cylinder, the paper towels, because they have circles on the top and the bottom, and there are no vertices anywhere and no edges. All right, the next thing we're going to do is take a look in your math book on page 717. Go around the house and look for anything you can find that might be shaped like a cone or a cylinder and trace them here. And make a little note of what that thing was when you traced it, like spell it, because you won't remember anymore. It's going to look like all you made was a circle, isn't it? All right. Throughout these pages, your main job is going to be to look, make sure you know the name of the shape, which one is it, circle the correct shape, count the faces or flat parts, and the vertices are the corners, right? On the next page, same job, circle its name, which one is correct, and then count how many faces you see and how many vertices you see. Remember, the vertex is a corner. Now, just like we did on the first page, if you had this shape and you traced around the bottom of it, what shape would appear on your page? Same with this. Look closely. This is the tube inside the paper towel holder. Okay? If you held it up on the paper, you had to stand it up and trace around this end. Which shape would you get? And now look, one of these shapes has two flat sides or faces that make circles. Only one of them has two flat faces that are circle shaped. Look closely. Okay. Here, you're just going to read the question and spell the name that goes in the answer. And also, for this one, it says draw the faces. Read carefully. And which one of these shapes is different? Well, Mrs. Wright, they're all different. That's a cylinder, that's a cube, that's a sphere, that's a cone. But one of them is much more different than the others. Did you notice that on each of these three, the yellow, the orange, and the blue, at some place there was a circle? You see any circles on the cube? Then I think that's the different one, don't you? All right. And then you're going to get a little more practice counting faces and vertices on the homework pages, okay? And by then, you might be ready to watch this fun video. This one is called Energy Busting Indoor Activities for Kids. And there are lots of fun things that you can do right at home. Okay, look, they're going to show you some fun games. These kids are having to pick up things with their feet and no hands at all. Lift it up over their head and drop it in the box. There are all kinds of fun things you can do right in your house. If you like this video, save it for a rainy day. This will be a great thing for you to try at home. Okay? All right. When we come back, I'm going to give you some special Super Kids directions today. So it's a little bit different. Make sure you watch carefully the next video. But get yourself a quick snack break first, and then